Here we go. Morning everybody, welcome to my Monday morning live Stampin. I'm just going to open these blinds, it's a bit dark. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. It's a beautiful day here. Cooey, morning. It's a beautiful day here. The girls have gone back to school after the Easter break. And yeah, it's lovely. We've walked the dog. It's been really nice. So happy days all around. I hope you all have a lovely week ahead. Hi to everyone as you join. Lots of people joining from around the world. Thank you so much. It always blows my mind that people watch me from outside the UK, so thank you so much. Last night, if you joined me for my Sunday night live, you would have seen that I used the Dino Days stamp set, which is soon to retire, which means once the stocks are gone, it will no longer be available. I showed you a really fun technique with some paper piecing, and we created these lovely backgrounds just using strips of cardstock. And of course those super cute little dinosaurs. Well, today I wanted to bring you something else using this set, give it one last outing before we say farewell to it. So I hope you're sitting comfortably, got a cup of tea or coffee, maybe your breakfast. So let's get started. I'll just change my camera around and you can see my desk. Okay, so I wanted to make something interactive for this card this morning, and I desperately tried to find my stash of split pins or brads. I can't find them anywhere, so I'll have to wait and order some. So I've made this really cute little, I guess it could be a congratulations card, look who's hatched, card using the gorgeous die, which is half the dinosaur egg. And I've also used this lovely hammered metal embossing folder. Originally this was part of the Dino Day suite of products, so I found it, and I think you'll agree it really gives a gorgeous texture when you emboss with it. So a couple of little techniques that I'll show you on this card. So we'll make a start. So to start with, we are going to, I'll show you what I've got first. I've got a standard card base, and this is cut from Just Jade cardstock. I have a piece of basic white card that measures 9 centimetres by 13.4, so in total that's about 1.5 centimetres smaller than our card front. Okay, and then I've used some vellum. Vellum is a great way to mute your patterns when you use them in your backgrounds, and I really like that technique. And then I've got some crumb cake card for our egg. So first of all, let's start building our card from the bottom. So we're going to work on this piece of basic white first, and I am stamping in Just Jade ink. And I'm using that lovely leaf stamp, which is just here. And I'm just going to stamp all over this card with that leaf stamp. Okay. And I'm changing directions of it every time. Just to get a really good background. Okay. Like so. So that's completely unique. And now I'm going to I still want this. If we cover that up with our vellum, we get a really nice muted background, but actually I wanted to take some of the white away from that card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my blending brushes, tap off the excess, and then just add that ink, that colour to my card, and you get a really soft blend with these brushes. And you can build that colour up to look as you want it to look. Okay. Just going around the edge, like so. And it's up to you whether you go all over. I like to leave a bit of a highlighted space in the centre. But there we have our lovely now coloured piece of background paper, and I love that technique. It's so fun, and it's great for any colour. Okay, so we can now stick that down to our card front, like so. And then we can stick down our vellum. Now, how I like to stick down vellum is I use teeny tiny little dots of wet glue, okay? It will dry really clear, but the trick is less is more. So use just enough so that it sticks, but not enough that you end up in a big sticky mess. So you can see there, actually you can see a little bit there, but I've only just stuck this down. And then this area here where we know there's going to be covered up pieces, just add a bit of that wet glue, again not too much, and then you can stick this piece down. Okay, and then we have it. So this will dry and those little dots will disappear, but that's why we use less ink, less glue, sorry. So now I'm just going to die cut these out. I'm just going to grab my mini machine because it works really well with the mini. Okay. So when you are die cutting and embossing, I would always recommend doing your die cutting first, because otherwise when you run if you emboss first and then you run the die through the machine actually squashes the embossing, so you lose any of the texture that you want. So a little tip from me there. So we've got one, and then we want two. Love this little machine, it's so handy. Oops. One of those things, it's my own sort of style. I like to run it through frontwards to backwards. That's better. We've all got our own little ways, haven't we? Ah, morning to you, Sophie. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so we have our two dinosaur egg pieces. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to pop that into our embossing folder. And then we're going to run that through the embossing machine, which is just behind me on my little trolley. Don't know where I'd be without my trolley. Here we go, and I love this bit. This is always my favourite bit of embossing. Look where we are. We have those super cute embossed eggs. And it fits together absolutely perfectly. How clever is that? Look. So the idea behind this card is I wanted it to kind of lift like that, but I couldn't find my split pins. So you'll notice that obviously the colour is somewhat different. So again, I'm going to do a little bit of blending, and I'm going to use cinnamon cider. So this is crumb cake cardstock, and I'm using cinnamon cider ink. Okay. And I'm just going to again go round. I would always recommend doing your embossing before you're blending, so that your blending really gets into the little divots. I love this embossing folder. I don't think this one is retiring, but it could be. I can't remember. There's so much to remember. I'm happy with that. You'll notice the colours that I'm using today. We're using Just Jade, Cinnamon Cider, Bumblebee and Misty Moonlight. Those are from last year's in colours, and I really, really like those colours together. So here we go. We can now pop on our little dinosaur egg to our card. Okay. And I'm using dimensionals. For the bottom one, I'm just using one. Okay. Because we want to tuck our dinosaur in behind. Okay, and then this one, the top piece, I'm going to use just two more. like that. Oh, my vellum has come away. And I think that looks really, really fab. Let me know what you think. I love the texture on this egg, and I love that little bit of shading with the blending brush. So now we can go ahead and we can stamp our little dinosaur. And I've chosen to use the T-Rex. Love the T-Rex. If you could have a favourite dinosaur, he would be my favourite. He's definitely my daughter Emily's favourite, because he's the same as Rex from Toy Story. And we love a bit of Toy Story. So there we have a little dinosaur. I have added a bit of this background to him, just to give him a bit of pattern. And then I am going to stamp the spikes directly on. Okay. So there is a little gap for his arm. There we have it. So there are his little spikes stamped on. Now, because we've added the spikes, it does mean that we can't now die cut him out, because the die cut follows the edge of the dinosaur, and then there's a separate die for the spikes. So we're just going to fussy cut around this, but it just goes to show that this is a really versatile set. And the dies aren't essential, although if you don't buy the dies, you don't get the dinosaur egg. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I remember when this set came out, I was absolutely thrilled with it, and then I barely used it. At the time, my youngest was absolutely crazy mad about dinosaurs, so I thought, excellent, I'll use it all the time, and I just didn't. I made a couple of cards, but no, I didn't do too much with it at all, whereas now it's retiring, I'm really enjoying using it. I think it's a great set if you've got young children. These would look so cute as embellishments in on a scrapbook page or in a journal. And so many of these places now you go to have got dinosaur attractions. I know our local zoo has got a big dinosaur attraction, so it would look great on a day out journal. Okay, just following him round. And it's also one of those sets that just looks fab in any colour as well. So now we've got our dinosaur, we can tuck him in, and I like to leave him just so that you can see his tail popping out. Okay, and now let's just stick that down, like so. So the card is really starting to come together now, and we need to add our sentiment, which I have heat embossed. So let's get a piece of basic black. Okay, give it a little wipe with the embossing buddy. And sentiment, look who's hatched. Love this. Sentiments in this set are really, really fab. There's a whole range of useful ones. Okay, so just got some white embossing powder now. Give it a little tap. And then we can heat that with our heat gun. That's sitting quite nicely. And then all I'm going to do with this sentiment is I'm just going to trim it into a little banner. Like so. That we can then add to our card front. Okay. Just going to put a little dimensional down there. A bit of wet glue on that side. And then to finish, I've just added a little linen bow. Now I've run out of of mini glue dots. I'm waiting for them to come. So I'm adding this with just a little dot of wet glue, and the trick with this is to just hold it in place for a few seconds and then it sticks. So there we have our little finished card front. On the inside I've added that other piece of basic white, but before we add it in we will just stamp a couple of those leaves, because actually there isn't a great deal of white on this card, so to add that in like so, I think it's a bit boring. So I'm going to add just a little bit of that leaf detail, that background detail. Like so. Oh no, I still want that open, sorry. And then we will just do a little bit of blending with that blending brush to get that nice soft colour that we've got under that vellum. And in there you could easily add your congratulations message, or maybe add some personalisation if you're sending it to someone who's just had a baby. Okay. And there we go. We have our should be interactive dinosaur egg card. I've used the gorgeous, or some of the in colours from last year's colours. So we've got Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider and Bumblebee, 4 really, really nice colours. And there we have our cute little embossed dinosaur egg with our dinosaur in the middle. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched and joined in. It's been lovely to spend a little bit of Monday with you. If you have any questions about the products or techniques I've used, please do get in touch. I'll make sure to get these up on my blog in the next few days for you. So if you have any, want to refer back, it's there. You can always watch the replay. The replay will stay on my Facebook page forever, as far as I know. I'll next be live on Wednesday evening at 8:30. Be lovely if you could join me. I'm not quite sure what I'll be using yet, but I've got a couple of days to think about it. So that's it from me. Have a great few days, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon. Thanks. Bye for now.